Almost the same person.
Okay.
You do? That's like she told you that cheeks. Yeah.
The only reason I recognize you is because you're loud. I heard you laughing at their boys.
Yeah, this usually what happens. We'll hear you first. Yeah.
I actually have a lot of friends. And you're those.
Okay.
So you laugh? Actually, that was here. I just most
Yeah.
no one's okay. But I have.
Okay.
Okay.
I believe we are ready to rock. Excellent. Okay, so for those of you online watching YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whenever, we are on location at the amazing let's see, Great Hair Day in Meridian, Idaho. My wonderful friend Erin, who cut my hair recently. Okay. Bravo. Yeah. Yeah, I was able to rock climb with my hair down the other day, and it was just looking fabulous from behind. I felt very, very stylish. It was fun. Yeah. So yeah, we had to change location. Thank you all for being flexible. And we just got to practice already managing our mood a bit, you know? And we're also celebrating my dear friend Jamie's birthday. Happy birthday! Officially what?
29 and 10 years of experience.
Yeah? So next year's a big one. Oh, we're gonna have to. Oh man, that's gonna be big. Okay. So this is like one of my favorite classes to teach. Because I never knew anything about astrology. I thought it was a bunch of baloney. And until I had some time to really look at it. My background is more in like strict biology, chemistry. I have a degree in biology, chemistry. I teach junior high science, so physics and chemistry and all of that. But I've loved essential oils for a long time. And this class is kind of my brainchild of the last 4 years of learning about astrology and then adding my 13 plus years of essential oil knowledge and such too. And it's been so cool to see people come together and understand more about themselves and more about their families by understanding their moon sign. I was at a friend's house and I'm always teaching, right? And we were at a bunko night and I shared this concept of moon signs and essential oils and really understanding your moon sign. And she was having conflict with her daughter. And I'm like, let's figure out what your guys' moon signs are. Let's look at your natal chart. And so quickly put it in, looked up her natal chart, looked up her daughter's natal chart and some of the positioning. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, and I've never met this, first time ever meeting this lady, right? I'm like, okay, so you tend to be kind of like this emotionally and you get really fired up about this and like this is how you typically manage your emotion, but your daughter seems to manage their emotions like this and gets fired up in this way, and so you probably tend to come at things from this direction, which makes her go like this, huh? And she's like, how did you know that? And I'm like, it's just there, okay? And then I'm like, what if, because you guys match up on a lot of things, so what if you're able to recognize this part of her and be able to come at it from this direction and see if that works? And she's like, okay. And I saw her like months later, hadn't talked, and she's like, Lisa, oh my gosh, I've wanted to talk to you. Thank you so much. I tried what you talked about, and it has done wonders for my relationship with my daughter. And I was like, that is why I do this, you know? That's why I love to teach about this. I love to teach about oils because when we're empowered and we can see things with the moon signs, especially being able to see things from other people's perspectives, and it is so powerful. So I love teaching this. So thank you for being here, and thank you for all the help. Thank you for all your flexibility, and I'm excited to share this with you. Okay, so you already had the Moon Science ebook emailed to you. You put in your email. If you're able to pull up that email and open up that ebook, that's going to be helpful for you tonight. We'll use it more later on, but I'd like to make sure that you got it. Okay, it'll be from like Google shared with you, blah, 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 like a Google share, not from Lisa. It's going to be an email from Google. And really, the ebook was a compilation of oil blends that I put together for myself, and I didn't want to memorize them, so I wrote them down, and then I put them in Canva and made it pretty, and have been adding to it. And so, those of you that are on my on that share list, on my list of sharing this PDF, as I improve the ebook and add different things to it, I will send you the new copies of it too, as I change things and stuff. And I'd love your feedback as you try these different blends and see how they work for you. If you're like, ooh, I tried this a little bit differently and I really like that. Then yeah, let me know so I can try it, and then we can have some different stuff. But there's so much out there. I wanted to get it all put together in one place. So as I said, I have a degree in biology, chemistry, a master's in education, and using essential oils for over 10 years. So it'll be 14 years in September. And I'm a master level Reiki practitioner as well. So be on the lookout for different classes I'm going to be teaching to teach people how to do Reiki as well. And in my instruction, I specialize in essential oil integration because the frequency of the oils actually go really great with Reiki, but that's more my Reiki class, so I won't go into that too much. Yeah. So first off, we need to understand like what moon signs are. Has anybody pulled their natal chart before? You have? Okay. And a lot of you have you ever pulled your natal chart before?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I have, but it's been a while.
Yeah. We're going to pull it up again anyways. So, yeah. And so it's basically a snapshot of the sky, right? Of where the planets were and things like that at the time of your birth. Okay. And so the moon governs your emotions. So knowing where the moon is tells you your tendencies about your emotional state and how you manage things emotionally. Okay. So, I mean, our emotions are such a driving force in a lot of things. So understanding that about yourself and others, you can see how powerful that is if you can understand somebody's tendencies. And as with any good astrologer will tell you your astrology is not your fate, just like your genetics is not your fate. We are always still in choice. But if we understand the tendencies, we can then choose ahead of time, right? And empower ourselves. So that's what this is all about. So we all know that the sun sign, oh, I'm a Gemini, oh, I'm a whatever, right? It changes every month. Well, the moon is a lot closer, right? It's changing every 2 to 3 days. Okay, so understanding where that moon is for us, like that's powerful for us, but then understanding where the moon is today helps us understand the emotional tendencies of the planet. Okay, like, oh, the moon's in Pisces or something like that. People are going to be all in their feelings. Okay, oh, the moon's in Aries. Oh, people are going to be really fired up about things. Okay, so having that awareness is going to be powerful. And we'll talk a lot. That's really a lot of what this class is about, is to help you to be aware And then, okay, so the moon's in this sign. How do I maximize that with essential oils? All right, I'll go into that. And so I was watching, or I started watching the Tarot Lady a lot back when COVID hit. I don't know if anybody's ever watched her tarot transits and tangents, but at that time she was going live every single day. Now she does more, I think, more on the weekends and stuff. But she would pull. She's been throwing tarot for 30 years, doing astrology for 30 years, and she's this punk rock kick-ass gal. And so she would kind of go on this like tangent of whatever's happening in the world. And she would talk about the transits, meaning that what's happening astrologically that day. And then she would pull a tarot card for each sign of the zodiac. It's like, oh, you're Geminis, here's a good card for you. Libras, okay. And so I was I was curious about tarot because it had always been a taboo thing in my life. And listening to her, I realized there was a lot of methodology to it. It's not just a random thing. And again, she spoke about it very empowering and not like gloom and doom type of stuff. And it was just super duper fascinating. And I would notice, because I was wanting to learn about the tarot mainly, and so I would catch her live like the next day or something. And I remember this one time where in the astrology part, she was like, hey, be really careful with your pocketbook at about 4 p.m. today, because the stuff is doing all these different things and you are going to want to spend all of your money. And I thought back and I'm like, I remember that time yesterday. At that time yesterday, I had my Amazon cart full, just full. And I resisted. I was proud of myself. I did resist. And, but I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. And so I started looking into the astrology part and realized that it is so meticulous. It is so mathematical. And I started thinking about it from a physics standpoint. I'm like, this makes so much sense because where matter, right? Mass, and all mass has a gravitational pull towards it. Sorry, so physics teacher coming out right here. All right, so here's the deal. The closer two objects get together, the more, kind of like magnets, right? The more gravitational pull there are towards those two things. The farther they are apart, the less gravitational pull, right? But it never gets to zero, okay? It never gets to zero. And so the fact of the matter is, I have an effect on you, an effect on you, an effect on you, all the time, constantly. We are literally at the atomic level, all connected. Isn't that beautiful? It's beautiful. And so, I mean, if we really dove into just that fact, our world would be different if we all truly understood that. Because not only would I not want to harm you, but I want to harm myself either, because it would harm you as well, right? It's beautiful. And then the other part of that is we've got these giant planets pretty nearby that have a huge amount of mass. And the more mass, the more gravitational pull. So we can see with our own eyes how the different positions of the moon affects the tides, the water, right? That little tiny moon compared to like Jupiter and stuff like that, right? What are we mostly made out of? Water. So if the moon has an effect on the tides, don't you think maybe Jupiter could have an effect on us? Right? Okay, so then what they figured out through, they don't know how, but they've just noticed, they pay attention, these astrologers for thousands of years have been documenting this. And they went, you know, when Jupiter was here compared to where a person was born, then they have a tendency to be really lucky in these ways. When the moon is in this position, they seem to be emotionally like this. Okay, So it's like Earth is right here. This is an oil stand, but it has all the zodiac signs across it. So I use it as a little visual. So pretend like the Earth is at the center, okay? And we know we rotate around the sun, but you can hold any point still and notice how things move around, okay? So we're going to use the Earth as a frame of reference, and this is a snapshot of the sky at your time of birth. And if we were to look up, so in mine, the star constellations, so the different signs are actual star constellations, and they're outside of our solar system, so we kind of consider them fixed points. So we take the Earth and then the constellation and we draw a line, okay? And so that space between there, that is when like the sun is in that sign. So when from Earth to that star constellation, and the sun is in that position between, then we're in Gemini or whatever, right? Okay. And so each of the planets in our solar system at the time of your birth had a specific position. And so they were in a different sign. And like Mercury governs how you think and how you communicate. The moon, like I said, governs your emotions. The sun is your core. Venus is how you love. And so all the different planets it gives us little clues about our tendencies. All right. Okay. And so we're just going to focus on the moon in this class. Okay. And it's all about being prepared, not scared. And that's one of the things that the tarot lady says all the time, to be prepared, not scared. Hey, so do you like that? Does that help understand? Okay. Like it. Okay. Essential oils. Who's used essential oils before? Raise your hand. Okay. So really briefly, for the birthday girl. Birthday girl's forgotten everything. She's just so excited it's her birthday. Different aromatic compounds. It's a mixture of a bunch of different ones. There's not just a lavender oil and a peppermint oil, like one molecule for each. It's a whole bouquet. It's a symphony. And if you've ever been to a symphony and maybe the piccolo was off, you know what I mean? Okay. It kind of wrecks the whole thing, you know? And if a piece calls for a piccolo, but you have 50 of them, it's going to ruin the piece. Okay. Same thing with essential oils. Those different constituents, those different little molecules in there, if it's not in the right balance, no good. Okay. So you got to be really careful about that. So these oils, they found in specific parts of the plant and used really simply for emotional use. We want to use the nose because the nose is directly connected to the limbic brain. Okay, limbic brain controls mood, emotion, heart rate, blood pressure, memory, all that sort of thing. Okay, so when we breathe these in, diffusing essential oils is the best way to manage your mood. And the balance of these wonderfully pure essential oils are powerful because all of our other senses, sight, touch, taste, stuff like that, we don't process those senses emotionally until we've thought about it first. We have to think about it with the frontal cortex first, except for our sense of smell. Our sense of smell has direct connection. The beauty of that is if we're having an emotional response that's not beneficial to us at the moment, we can use essential oils to help control our emotions, even if the situation has not changed. Again, this brings us into choice. It's all about creating space for choice because within that choice is all beauty, is all freedom, is all manifestation. Okay? So that's what we're creating. And so these are just some of the tools we can use to create that space to allow for choice. Okay? Topically, if you have a specific area of concern, like I have a hurt wrist and I've carried around lemongrass for a while and I keep forgetting to put it on. I was like, today, put it on and put it directly on. So if you have a specific area of concern, topically, okay? Use a little fractionated coconut oil, something like that to hold it to that area, kind of like a time release type of thing. If you're new to essential oils, always dilute it first because skin sensitivity is always the main concern when it comes down to it. Your body, the human race grew up with these plants. We know how to process them, but they're super concentrated, right? So always kind of test it out and see what's great for you. 1 drop is so powerful. So powerful. It's 50 to 70 times more potent than the herb it represents. So like 1 drop of peppermint oil is the equivalent of like 28 cups of peppermint tea. Okay. So even if you could only use 1 drop and you dilute it in some like lotion that's unscented or something like that, olive oil, something like that, it will still be very effective. Very effective. Okay. Internally, I only suggest this with doTERRA essential oils because it's the highest quality standard that I've seen in the industry, and I've been in it for a while. Because there's so much like cheating going on in the industry because the oils are getting big, right? And the bigger oils get, the more cheating there's going to be. And so you got to raise the standards continuously. I remember 13 years ago, their standards, I'm like, there's no way they can get better than this. I worked in a lab and stuff like that. And I am just blown away at how they've continued to up level. Just blown away. Yeah. So if you're wanting a full systemic effect, like a whole body effect, internal usage is the way to go because nothing's just going out in the air. So if I have a digestive issue, that drop of peppermint, put it under my tongue, take a drink of water. Okay. Frankincense is one using daily underneath the tongue. Frankincense, king of oils. It basically supports every system of the body, every single system of the body. It's amazing. Teach a whole class on frankincense. Okay. So 3 cool things about oils: safe, effective, affordable. Like I said, we grew up with them. They're effective because they can go inside and outside the cells because they're lipophilic. They're mixed with oils. Okay. And they're affordable. We're talking pennies to a dose because it's usually 1 to 2 drops per dose, as opposed to like some of the different pharmaceuticals or having to go and get a prescription or a copay for a doctor's appointment. If we have something that can help us not have to go, then we save that money, right? And so my rule of thumb is 3 days. If I'm not feeling better in 3 days, then I'm going to go see the expert and see what might be going on. I'm not anti-doctor. I want to use the doctors for their expertise. I'm going to try my methods first. And I mean, obviously not for a broken bone, though. I mean, I'm not ridiculous. Some frankincense on this compound fracture. No. Okay. So, but if I can help with an eye issue, the eye's really red and swollen and things like that, and I put a little bit of lavender around the socket for several days and help that kiddo out, that earache in the middle of the night, come into your bed crying, and put a little bit of tea tree around their ear, and they're able to finally go back to sleep. Like, that's powerful. It's powerful. Already talked about those 3 ways of using it. I could go on forever in regards to their sourcing. We work directly with the growers, no middleman stuff like everybody else does. And we have an amazing Healing Hands Foundation. This is our nonprofit organization. And these are like the pillars of what they do within the organization. And the anti-human trafficking, if you look into our HOPE initiative, it's phenomenal. It's not about just rescuing, but rehabilitation and prevention as well. So we're working with all parts of it. And this came into play within doTERRA started their nonprofit 2 years into their company. And it's all donation, 100% of donations goes to aid because doTERRA funds all the overhead. So that's a really nice thing to understand too. Okay. Okay, so you're going to create a little oil thing, some crystals and stuff for your own moon sign tonight. But we need to find your moon sign first. Okay, so on your sheet here, if you know how to use a QR, you can go to this QR, the bottom one, and that will pull up astro.com.
I can do it.
Or you can just type in astro.com. It's really not a very hard one to put in. Now this is like the desktop version. These are like stacked on top of each other on the phone. And so you have to kind of scroll down till you get to charts and calculations. But I think people recently have been needing to kind of like log in first. And so if you went to the top and kind of created a free account, that might move things along a little easier if you're brand new to it. But once you get there, go to charts and calculations. But really, once you get logged in, just let us know. We've got several people here that have done this a couple of times and can help you find it. And you'll need your birthplace, your date of birth, and your birth time will be needed to enter and to get all the important information.
So if you need to go to free horoscopes, if you scroll down about it. No. I think that's.
Right there. Yeah, if you've logged, go to charts and calculations.
Yeah.
Is anybody else needing help going to charts and calculations? After charts and calculations, you go to chart drawing ascendant. Oh, Doc Lips, I forgot your name. Wait, are you Susie?
Sandy.
Sandy. And then what was your name again? I'm so sorry.
Kelly.
Kelly? Okay. Sorry, Kelly.
Okay. Church drawing? Yes. Yeah, they create a profile. So you can just exit out of that.
And if we're not sure about the actual time, do you want us to, like, I think.
A guesstimation would be best, would be better than nothing, because your rising sign, which is the sign that was on the horizon at your time of birth, which is kind of how you manage the world, it changes every couple of hours. So if you can get a guesstimate, like yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
Me, then pick like a mid time, if you knew it was evening, pick like a middle evening time. From 8 AM PM to 6 AM. And I have no idea because I was told to use midnight. There you go.
Okay. Well, and we might be able to kind of figure it out too. Because like yours was off at one point. And it was saying your rising sign was like this, and then we got a different one. We're like, yeah, that works way better. Okay, anybody need help? After you put in your birth data, it should then pull up something like this.
Birthday girl.
Earth
And.
and
Sending Capricorn. Ascended available station. And this came. And then yes. Yes.
Done such a good job drinking water today. I'm so proud of myself.
It's hard some days.
It is. It is.
Especially when it cools.
Yeah.
I think you have to make full count. It used to be 3 and then they would just let you do it. I mean, it doesn't, but yeah, it just says yeah. But it's kind of nice because once you do that, then you can pull back up at any time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you can all put it
So once you get it pulled up, you can look right here and it will say it has sun, moon, and then the AC is ascendant or rising. So like my sun sign is Gemini, my moon sign is Aquarius, my rising is Libra. And I'll kind of zoom into that there. And so you can write that on your handout. Keep that handy. And then people with experience, you can help them look at their wheel. And then have them help them figure out which house their sun and moon are in. That would be great. Venus too, if you want to. But do you wanna you know?
No, I've done it a couple times.
Okay.
I might have my chart thingy.
Okay.
Remember mine was that wacky wonky that's all in Elliot. Oh, that's my houses.
Are you needing help?
Yeah. I just did all my.
Just use click on that one.
Yep. Cap, Sag, Mercury's in Cap. Yes.
Nice. Oh, there.
I'm Mars. And you put all your information in Jupiter.
So when she's
We're gonna
talking about
start like the only time.
there, that's just center into
I've heard of it. Sure.
and then he's
Sure.
but one
Chiron.
uh,
Gemini. Okay.
they have to have different classes. Personality.
So your wounded healer is around communication and learning.
Each house has a
So-
different.
Chiron, yeah, Chiron's your wounded healer. So like it's an opportunity. When you heal that aspect, it's like a huge
Your son.
kind of like catapults you in a sense, like to the next level. It's part of like your mission, the thing that you're meant to heal from.
Yeah.
So it has something to do with like well, and I can see that, and I think like you and I are like, oh, we feel like we really want to learn things to kind of like prove ourselves and stuff like that.
But I don't know, I still can't look at the tree.
Oh, Satan's
Yeah,
Leo.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can put yourself out there.
Yeah, makes sense. Very easy.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then your your Chiron is we're here, so you can kind of consider that almost like a fan. So, figuring that out, and it's in the 10th house. So Gemini in the 10th house, and that has to do with like your community and like success within the community. So, like stepping into your power with your communication and like communication, showing going to like within the community, will help direct those things. Like it's like the handle to the fan type of thing. So
Yeah,
yeah.
which is what I'm kind of finding right now is like people keep asking me like, well, what is it? Like, what is like in one factor and the answer to that. Or what do we fix this? But I don't like, hey, what do we show us more, what to do with this?
Yeah,
So
exactly. That's so
I
fun.
realize I know something.
Right? Oh my gosh. Jamie, yeah.
Like, secret, but you know what I mean? Like, that's my job. People think it just.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like my question right now. So, nobody could really, there was nothing else to do, it was just like the wilderness and maybe like wash everything. That's like, not an extra, it wasn't a church.
Right? Okay, does anybody need help still? And then Jamie, do you want to help also to write down the house on the other side? We might not be able to like figure out which house the moon and sun are in. So so on mine, so if you look at mine, so you have so for the houses, guys, I'll just teach you really fast. Are we okay, I wasn't sure. I just didn't want to cut you off unless you were like right in the middle of. Okay, so for the houses, you see the pie chart type of thing on there. You see how it does not line up with the signs. Okay, doesn't line up with the signs because this is it's like the dividing up the sky, but the signs move within that. Okay, so rarely are they perfectly lined up. Okay, so but these houses, the bottom 6 houses is your internal world, and the outer 6 houses, 7 through 12, are your outer. Okay, so whenever there's a planet in that house, it kind of puts some more energy into that area. Okay, there's some more drama. So, for instance, my sun is here in the 9th house. So, did we get the houses figured out already? Okay, well, I'm teaching about it right now. So, in the 9th house, so my sun's in the 9th house, and my sun is in Gemini. So, my core, I love learning, I love communicating. All right, I love being creative. That's my core because my sun is in Gemini. What aspect of my life does that core need to be fulfilled in? Is it in the 9th house, which is higher learning, like higher education, travel, learning about cultures and stuff like that. So if I'm not learning, if I'm not teaching about it, if I'm not discovering new things about cultures and people and languages and stuff like that, like I'm feeling unfulfilled. And that definitely tracks for me. And so, but like a good friend of mine, theirs is in the 2nd house, which is all about like physical security, mainly in regards to money and your physical environment. So their space, for them to feel secure at their core, they need to have their money and their home in order. Okay, I have no planets in the 2nd house. And so it's not a natural thing for me to be extremely organized and things like that. It's not a part of my course. So that's something that I get to learn how to overcome. Again, no extra excuses. It's awareness. It's going to take more effort for me. It just is. Okay. No judgment. It's just facts. Okay. And so my priorities are going to be different from this friend. And that's okay. Doesn't make anybody's priorities better than the other. They're just different. Okay. And you can honor that in the other person when you have this understanding. So, where's your sun? Let's see, Christine, where's your sun?
Cancer.
Cancer, and then in what house?
The
And so the signs change, guys. So Libra is here for me, but as the time goes on, it shifts around, and so then the position. So you said it's in the 7th house,
yeah.
and Cancer. So in the 7th house, Cancer. So it'd be rotated like that. Okay. And so then we see we've got a little chart here in the 7th house, marriage and other partnerships. So it's So your core partnerships, having those in place is a core part of you. And then in Cancer and taking care of nurturing and feeling like you are meeting the needs of and feeling valued by those core partnerships is essential for you to feel secure. That's how I would read it to me. I don't know, does that ring true to you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What? So, I want to say Kelly, but I think that's wrong. Is it right? Oh my gosh, I remembered something. Kelly, what's your sun in? Or what's your sun? Virgo? And then, so Virgo, so this little circly guy, where is it on your little circle, on your circly? So the circle with the dot in it, which represents the sun, where is it on your chart? Like which pie is it in?
Third.
So your sun, your little circle guy is somewhere in here.
Second or third.
Yeah, it's like third.
Okay. So then your sun's in the third house, which in the third house, it's mental activity, learning, siblings, communication. Your mantra is, I think. It's that an immediate environment and communication and learning within like your immediate environment. So
you see your son, see the pie, your shit.
What would be different than like, if you were, let's say you're the same number in two, it's just for. What would be different about moon versus the sun? Why do we different?
yeah.
So you
So and they're in the same sign.
No, I mean, they're not the same question.
Same house, but different sign.
Yeah, so it's very weird, but like, if I'm a 12 in sun, like, how is sun like your outer thing and moon is your inner thing, or is,
So your sun is like the core of
Okay.
who you are.
I mean, what would
So,
moon
like,
be if you were?
Your like your core personality,
Okay.
which some people you might have that guarded for
Yeah.
a while,
Okay,
and so people might not, you're a blah blah blah. You don't
Yeah.
seem like a blah 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 because they're probably seeing your rising sign, which is how you manage the world.
which would be like your moon?
Which is it's the ascendant.
Okay. Okay,
Okay, so mine is
so then what would be your moon?
and so your moon is how you are emotionally.
Okay,
That is your emotional tendency.
and then what would
Okay.
Venus be?
Venus is how you love.
that was the
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So you found your sun and that core. So let's figure out where we are emotionally though. And so where is your moon? And so my moon is in Aquarius. So the little symbol here that's the moon is right here in Aquarius in my fourth house. So in the fourth house, is
this the house?
the little numbers on the inside.
So if you look at it, it's okay, let me do fine.
So little numbers on the inside.
This point,
So with my fourth house, it's around my emotional security and tendencies revolve around home, parents, roots, and inner security. So like my inner world and my roots need to feel secure for me to emotionally feel secure. And honestly, like, no, I'm not the most organized person, but my mental state, you can see it reflected in my environment. Oh, Lisa's going a little crazy right now from the state of her house right now. Okay. Yeah, you know. Okay. Like people say, oh, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I wear my emotions out in my whole house. So yeah. And it's taken me a while to admit that oh, I just don't mind it being messy. No, actually it does. It really bothers me. But it's almost like that chicken before the egg type of thing. When my mental environment goes a little, and then my external environment goes, okay. And so I get to be now mindful of that and go, okay, I need to take care of my inner world so then I can then manage the outer. And if somebody can come beside me, like helping my kids understand that aspect of me, and Lily, my daughter, is such a sweetheart, like she'll start to do the dishes. And then I'm able to like find that that emotional stability to then also do those things and create that organization and calmness within the environment as I also get calm. Okay. So, yeah. And so, how, and see, in Aquarius, see, the whole, oh, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me because Aquarius tends to be super analytical regarding emotions instead of actually feeling emotions. Aquarius, the line. Okay, so I deal really well with people that have highly fluctuating emotions and are really like out there. And some people are like, "Whoa, I cannot be around that person very much." And I'm like, "It doesn't matter to me. I love it because I love to just like be in the presence of a passionate person." And I can be that mirror and I can be that like sounding board for them, and I don't get overwhelmed. Okay, which is a really handy thing until I can't feel my own emotions, right? So find out which house your moon is in, because that is going to be the key of your emotional security, the area of your life that brings your emotional security. Okay. And then we'll learn about the signs here and understand the high and low vibe aspects that come with that sign. So you can recognize when you might be in a low vibe part and choose into the high vibe.
I'm still slowly catching on.
And that's why we do this every other month, because it takes a minute. It takes a minute, but it's so powerful. It's so powerful. Like, and I seriously, I put pieces together for myself every time I teach this, different pieces. So, like the whole shoving it down because Aquarius, yeah, I just figured that out, like as I was saying it. Yeah, you know, I teach this class for me. Like you all are just here. I like being around people. Okay, so do you know which house your moon is in?
Yes.
What is it in?
4.
Fourth house? Oh, like me. What sign?
Oh, that's on the other side. Cancer.
Cancer. Okay. Okay. So Cancer is all about like nurturing and taking care of people.
Yeah.
And
I feel like this is very
it's a
nurturing. I would like you to do my way. Oh.
is she Cap rising? Is she Cap rising? What's her rising sign?
She's Aries.
Oh, fiery Aries. Yeah.
No, but I like I really like making dinner with my boyfriend and
Yeah.
bring it to him at the table and
Yeah.
how much he likes what I made.
Yes.
Also like when he eats it in the order that I would eat it. And then I would like to have a gravy at the end. I think my serving it because
Yes. Yes.
I
Absolutely.
need to be needed.
Yes. You absolutely. We have all the signs at all times, right? But we just know what's prominent for us. And I see that emotion coming out for you. And that's a beautiful thing and understanding. And it was interesting. My buddy Ken, he has his moon in Cancer as well. And he was going to be hosting a wedding at his family farm for a friend. Now he's only a part owner. And something went down 2 weeks before the wedding. And they had to change venues. And he was devastated. He felt terrible, right? But then they found this other beautiful venue and it worked out perfectly. And all this different, but then he wasn't needed. And he had a really hard time because he wasn't needed anymore. you know? And we got to honor that for him. And he got to go, oh, this emotional reaction that I'm having is not necessarily because of that. Like, it's not grounded in they needed that and they're feeling down, or what, it was my own needs that I'm needing to get met. And so he got to find a way to then to meet his own emotional needs and realize, oh, my value isn't actually connected to that. I can care for them in a different way. Right? Okay. Where's your moon? Do you know? Have you looked, or you don't have it pulled up? Where's your moon? What? Fourth house. Another fourth house? Second house? Okay. Talked a little bit about, where's yours? In the sixth house. Okay, sixth house. And so work, health, service, self-improvement. So that your emotional needs lie there. And where you're finding that emotional security. What sign?
For the moon.
Uh-huh.
So moon is in Gemini.
Gemini. Okay. So so learning and communication is really big for Gemini, and creativity. Oh, and creativity. Okay. So like manifesting probably within your work. So like at your core, in work and how you serve, you need to be able to be learning and expressing that learning, like a continual turnaround. And that learning might even be with the people around you, of being able to absorb the different pieces of information of all the different people around you and be able to turn that into service and turn that into something productive, possibly because of the work aspect.
Well, did you tell Lisa what you are studying?
No.
No.
Start.
Oh.
Looking forward to my retirement career.
Oh.
I'm like 32 hours away from finishing it to have my certification by.
Oh, cool. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So yeah, that seems like it would fit pretty darn well with your emotional security. What did you bring there? What?
I've seen research. His houses, yeah.
And that would be key.
Yeah.
That would be key. And so when we look at the high and low vibe aspect, you can see when one of you might be stuck in a low vibe, and then be able to create that space to allow them to shift into the high vibe.
With the solar plexus.
Kelly, right?
Yeah.
Where's your, and what sign is it in? 6 Aquarius and 6.
I think I'm going to work. I thought it was a yes, but I don't know. Let me know. Yeah, my moon is in 8.
Your moon is in 8. Okay. And so
Yeah. Max.
is it Gemini? What sign is it as well for the moon? Moon sign. So moon sign Aquarius in the 8th house. Got it. And so 8th house, it's about sex, death, letting go, regeneration, other people's money, and sharing. So the whole like other people's money and sharing, that has a lot to do, and all of that has to do with this the collaboration of energy. Okay, because money is energy as well. It's an energetics thing. Same with death, like sex, death, letting go, the regeneration. It's this perpetuation and the ebb and flow of energy. And the energy of different resources. And then Aquarius being so you're pretty level-headed, tend to be pretty level-headed. And so the part of the learning for me as my moon sign's also in Aquarius is if I have to be careful if I'm not really grounded in service, I can start using people instead of serving people. And so like with that one, I could see being careful about a lack mentality regarding your resources. If you could get really scared about like a scarcity mentality with your resources, and that could trigger a lot of emotional insecurity for you. And so keeping in mind with that abundance mentality of that give and take, that ebb and flow with those resources could really be key in like your emotional security and being able to stay in that service and be that peacekeeper, that you have the ability to do, that innovator, that creative person that you can be in somebody's life and within your own. That's what I see. So I don't know. Did we already do yours? Yeah, we already did yours. Okay, so we touched on everybody's. So let's go through really fast all the different signs. And I'll show you. Okay, so it's the wrong ephemeris, guys. But you can literally pull up any, like Google ephemeris January 2025, and it'll pull it up. And let's see if I've got. So it looks like this. And oh, you people online can't see, but there's a lot of numbers involved and things, but it's you can ignore, like these are just the dates, and then these are the planets, and then it says what sign they're in. Like it's not the beta. There's layers, obviously, with all these other numbers and stuff. Don't worry about it. That's the thing with astrology. You can just focus on the layer that you're on and get what you need to get out of it. And then if you want to learn the next layer, then learn it. If it overwhelms you, then stop. It doesn't matter. Okay? You don't need to know it all for it to be super useful. We are just focusing right here, lunar, ingress, and void moon. So lunar, Avi moon. This is the day of the month, and these are the signs. Okay? And so, Lisa, I don't know the signs yet. Don't worry, we're going to go through them. You're going to practice writing them. Okay, so then you can learn them. So when you see stuff like this, you go, oh, it's the 7th. We're in Taurus. The moon's in Taurus. Okay, and then on the 9th, the moon is going to go into Gemini. And on the 11th, it's going to go into Cancer. On the 14th, it's going to go into Leo. So then I know what oils I'm going to diffuse on those days. Because you're going to diffuse the blends that Lisa showed you that she came up with. That's in your ebook. That's right there. Okay? And you'll know what crystals to wear. It's different days. And you're like, honey, I'm sorry, but I have, my Aquarius moon, and I'm going to need to get some fluoride. I'm sorry. Okay? So it's that simple. Okay? All right. So I thought I had. Okay, so I have 2 different combos. I have the simplified combos. This is the one that I like to keep in my classroom and keep handy. It only uses 10 oil blends to cover all 12 signs. So different combos of these 2. I have a set of 10 oils. I combine them in different ways to go do all 12 signs. Okay. So, and this is all in your ebook. Like this is literally like taken out of your book. So I would recommend if you were to write down anything, write down for your moon and maybe for like your rising and your sun. I'm a take notes person, I like to take notes. So, but I don't want it to detract. So I would say those like 3 things. Anyways. Oops. Okay, so high vibe for Aries. So when the moon is in Aries, or if your moon is in Aries, but in general, when the moon is in Aries, for everybody, we tend to be feeling empowered and passionate. Great time to start a passion project and to tap into what you're passionate about. People get fired up. It might be inspired to start or finish something that you're passionate about. But the low vibe, you can get stuck in feeling irritable, closed-minded, or impulsive. Okay, so when the moon is in Aries, you're going to be looking out for that. And if you feel some of these more low vibe emotions coming through for you, first thing I want you to do is ask the question, what is this trying to teach me? Because there's no bad emotions, because they all have something to teach us. And if we don't learn the lesson, they're just going to keep showing up again and again until we learn the lesson. Am I right? So if we can honor that, oh, I'm feeling this. Interesting. Because our emotions are feedback, they're not facts. Like if I'm feeling irritable, oh my goodness, my husband is driving me crazy. I don't have a husband, but your husband's driving me crazy, and he just is always trying to ruin everything. Well, that's not factual. Probably not factual, right? So what's the feedback that that's trying to give you? Perhaps your passion and your husband's passion are not in alignment. Maybe you haven't communicated what you're passionate about. Maybe this is showing you, hey, you have an opportunity here to share your passion with him so that you can come together on it. Okay? So then you're now in that feedback and you're feeling empowered and passionate to move towards your project. Okay? Okay, so the stone with that is aventurine. Serenity and cheer are great oils for that. My original blend, this was simplified. Like these two, I took the 2 blends together was to simplify it, because before I was doing 4 oils per, and it was like the top 2 oils, Hatterberry and ginger, are for the high vibe part, and basil and ylang ylang helps with the low vibe part. Okay, so maximizing high vibe, mitigating low vibe. Both are in the ebook. Both are in the ebooks. Okay, Taurus. Love Taurus. I'll get shit done during a Taurus moon. No wonder I was able to prep that lab today after school, lickety split, while helping a student teacher / long-term sub learn the ropes and everything. Otherwise, I might have not made it here tonight. Yeah, I'll tell you. Brady is long-term sub for my partner teacher.
So you cheat because your sun is in your 8th house and moon is in your 7th.
Okay. So adaptive and northern escape is oil for that rutilated quartz. Wonderful. And so it's pretty grounding. So high vibe for Taurus, persevering, stable, getting it done. Low vibe can be materialistic and stubborn, slightly stubborn. Okay.
Right.
And so we get to watch out for that. Any Taurus moons?
Oh no, I'm not part. Yeah. Interesting. It says it's in the 8th house.
No, I thought it was.
Sag.
Sag moon? You'd be speaking your truth.
No.
Okay. Gemini combo, balance and breathe with blue lace agate. High vibe is very rational, social, happy-go-lucky. This is a great time to do art, to write, to create. Gemini is very creative. So when you see, so like on the ephemeris, we go into Gemini on the 9th. Is that Friday? Thursday? So Thursday, Thursday,
Where are we at?
Friday, Saturday till Saturday evening. Thursday, Friday, Saturday evening. Great time for creativity. Great time for communication. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Be on the lookout for feeling inconsistent, anxious, or depressed. Because sometimes we can get overwhelmed, and with all of these different creativity things coming in, and we want to. Gemini wants fun and to feel in the creative flow. And so if something feels hard and not in flow, we will avoid it like the plague. I know because I'm Gemini moon or Gemini sun. Okay. And so I get to really learn how to do the hard things, but that feel hard, even though I know I need to do them. So yeah. And so be honest with yourself and others, even when it's scary, because we want to communicate and have everybody be happy. So it's hard to sometimes, we need to have a Sagittarius come beside us and just speak truth. Okay, Cancer, and we have several Cancer moons, right? Yeah. So empathic, nurturing. When the moon is in Cancer, so like if your moon is in Cancer and the moon that day is in Cancer, that's the time to cook that meal. Oh yeah. So in that case then, so it says, and here, be on the lookout for the low vibe of feeling insecure and emotionally exhausted. And so perhaps earmark that day. Cancers who are always nurturing people all the time, earmark that day, one of those 3 days when the moon is in Cancer, to take care and nurture yourself. Okay? Put that mask on first before that whole spiel, right? And yes, exactly. And a lot of times that nurturing energy can shift into feelings of not enoughness. And so when that comes up, again, look at that feedback, because you absolutely are enough. That's factual, right? And so then, okay, that's my cue. If I'm feeling that come in, I get to nurture me, especially then. But if we have the time set aside already, then hopefully we won't have as big of those emotions come up of that not enoughness. Okay. So earmark that Cancer day, really for all of us, but especially Cancers, earmark that Cancer day for self-care, for that self-nurturing. What brings you joy? What brings you nurturing, that balm to your soul? Okay.
Right.
Another blend for Cancer is marjoram, clary sage, bergamot, and lime. Oh my gosh. Okay, people. We need practice. So on the front of your thing, where it says Aries, there is one thing that I do want you to write for each of the signs, is the symbol. So you have a little V with a little hooky guys. That is the sign for Aries. Okay? I can't make this bigger. I don't know.
I think it's bigger on the other slides.
Well, because I'm in like a sharing mode
Oh.
thing.
Everything.
Anyways, you can also pull up that ebook. You can look at it there. So, but yeah, it says V with little hookies. In the little box there for Aries.
Yes.
You just write it.
Okay, so did everybody write Aries down? The symbol for Aries in the Aries box on the front?
What's it? It's the.
It's like a V with little horns. Because it's a ram. Boom.
It's the
Okay.
iron weed. It looks like.
Is it a what?
Like a broken pole.
Yeah. It's like, yes, it does. That's exactly what it is. It's an IUD. Round it off.
And I keep.
Oh, the comments on Instagram and YouTube I'm gonna get. Okay. Huh? Oh, cool. Yay. Okay. All right. So next one I want you to practice is Taurus. Okay, Taurus right here. It's a circle. Yeah, this one's the bull. So we got the ram and then the bull. Okay. So the ram, so it's firing things up, and then the bull is doing the hard work to get that passion project really off the ground and going. Okay. So that's the Taurus. So circle with the horns. It can be more simple like that too. Everybody got that drawn? Okay, and then I skipped. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, Gemini, it's like the Roman numeral 2, but it's curvy on the top and the bottom. So Gemini, Roman numeral 2, because it's split personality. Creative or hyperlogical. You never know what you're going to get. Sexy! Okay. Everybody got Gemini drawn? Okay, so now we have Cancer. So Cancer, you draw a sideways 6, and then another sideways 6 the other way. Some might say another number, but I am a junior high science teacher, so I don't say that number.
Draw 9 and then 6.
Sure.
That's a whole different thing. You need that cancer.
Hey, be careful, okay? Be careful.
Goggles.
Okay, you should do goggles and then do line. That'd probably be an easy way to draw it too. That's not as fun. Okay. Got it, Tron. Okay, Leo. Leo, as the tarot lady says, when the moon is in Leo, it is time to put on that red lipstick. Or put red lipstick on your beak. That's what she said. Put red lipstick on your beak. Put those flashy earrings on and let yourself shine. Okay, so this is your time to shine. So a good time if you're going to do like an interview or something like that, and you want to see like their bright self, then when the moon is in Gemini and then when the moon is in Leo are really good times for interviews. Leo, especially if it's like a performance or like a front office staff position and stuff, you want to see how they present themselves. That moon in Leo would be a really good time to see like their best part. Okay. Larmar and Cornelian. Okay, really good for Leo. On guard serenity is one, so we've got some like spiciness coming in, but then the serenity helps with like the prideful part, and like the anger that might come with not feeling in the spotlight, as in like a Leo aspect. So high vibe though is very confident. This is a very confident time and feeling very competent. Like I know what I do. I can do this type of thing. Playful, embrace it. Look out for feeling like somebody's stolen your spotlight. There's plenty of room in spotlight for everybody. My daughter's son is in Leo, and so I get to remind her about that. Of like, yeah, other people can shine too, and it doesn't diminish your light. So in the moon's in Leo, we get to wear our armor. I always wear my armor. But another blend is citrus bliss, cedarwood, ylang ylang, and wild orange. Okay. So, and the Leo symbol is the Ariana Grande symbol. So you got the little head and then the big old ponytail. You see that? Okay. So big head, little head, and big old ponytail. It's the Ariana Grande symbol. I haven't looked at her chart. I'm not sure if she's a Leo or not, but
She's taken a bunch of Ozempic lately. Did you see her in the
yeah,
surprise?
it's sad. It's sad.
Yes, it's sad.
Um,
And she's like hollowed out. It was sad.
yeah.
Well, I could see it's
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation. You and I should talk. Okay. Okay. So Virgo. Virgo symbol might look a little wonky. Okay. It is an F. So here's how you draw the Virgo symbol. You draw an M, extend it out a little bit on the bottom, and then go back to the top and make a little fishy out of it. So M, and then wink to make a little kind of like fishy guy. Okay. Virgo is grounded and discerning, and that can create order out of chaos. Okay.
In theory.
But they can also get a little obsessive and judgmental. Okay. So be careful for those times coming in of being obsessive or judgmental. For me, I have trouble tapping into the high vibe of feeling grounded, discerning, and creating organization because I get stuck in the judgmental part about myself. Okay. Because again, that like environment and order connected to my emotions, it's all connected. Okay. So when I am able to release that judgment of myself, then I'm able to see in order. That's what I've learned over the years of teaching this class. Get to wear some peridot at this time, citrus bloom, northern escape, wonderful stuff. Smell some oils here soon. Did everybody draw the Virgo? Okay, Libra. Libra, line, and then the Omega symbol. High vibe is cooperative and peaceful. So this is my rising sign. And so your rising sign is how you manage the world. And so people might think you are your rising sign, and they're like, nah, you're not a Gemini, or you're not a Leo, or you're not a this. You seem like this. Probably because they only see your rising sign, and you haven't shown them your core yet. Okay? So, in Libra, cooperative, peaceful, drawn to connect with others, playing the role of the peacekeeper. Okay? And so that's how I like to manage the world, as being this peacekeeper and like connecting other people. Low vibe is indecisive and weak-willed. Definitely catch myself in that too. Because I'm trying to make everybody else happy instead of really connecting into what I need. Okay. So careful you don't set aside your own needs in order to make peace. Ask yourself, what do I need, and honor that first. All right. Rose quartz is great for that. In that heart space. Adaptive is a wonderful oil for stress, period, just by itself. And combo that with the cheer and let the good times roll. Another blend combo, geranium, lavender, rosemary, ginger. Okay, Scorpio. Sends out into a point. When the moon is in Scorpio, guys, when the moon is in Scorpio, your BS meter is on, what does it say? On fleek? Is that what they fleek? On fleek or something? I don't know what the kids are saying these days. I should know. I'm a junior high science teacher. Oh, that's old news. The old news. Okay. Yeah, your intuition is just super on point. Your BS meter is right on. Okay. Great time to like go to a professional astrologer to get a reading, go to a tarot reader and get a reading, something like that. Those intuitive skills. Great time for a Reiki treatment, things like that, because man, that intuition is flowing. Okay. And so to tap into that, because the high vibe aspect is very regenerative, intuitive, and loyal. Like Sun, Scorpios. Did anybody have any Scorpio in their world? Does anybody have any Scorpio in their world? Like your sun or your moon or anything? Okay. But if you have a friend, you know if you have a friend who's a Scorpio, because they are deep feeling and they are loyal as all get up. Like if you are in their circle as their friend, they will be your friend forever. But it takes a long time to get in there because they feel so deeply. It's scary to let anybody in. And once you break their trust, you're out for life. So that's the challenge and the opportunity for any Scorpio is to learn when it's okay to open that door back up again, when it's worth the risk, because it's very, very scary because they feel so deeply and passionately and deep, sometimes dark, which can be really fun. Okay, smoky quartz for that. On guard, northern escape. Moon, another one, Serbian for Petitgrain, Cassia, and Bergamo. Bergamot is an oil of self-love. Okay, so you're gonna see that come up a lot. Cassia is like a sweet cinnamon. It's so yummy. Okay, Aquarius or Sagittarius, sorry. Sagittarius, arrow with little eggs through it. Okay. Sag is super adventurous, optimistic. When the moon is in Sag, it's a great time for travel, it's said. So it's a great time for adventure, great time for travel. All right. Optimistic and inspiring. With the Sagittarius moon, you feel drawn to adventure and having honest conversations with people. All right. And low vibe can feel scattered and flighty. And be careful that you don't check out if you feel yourself getting bored or hard because you're wanting that exciting adventure. Okay. Make sure you're listening to other people's perspectives because they might have some truth too, right? It's not just your truth. And Amazonite is really great for Sagittarius moon. One of the things that I love to bring up in regards to Sagittarius, because a lot of times we want to shove our truth down people's throats because it just seems so obvious. Okay, especially if you have any planets in Sagittarius placement. Okay, and so but the thing is, if people aren't ready to receive your truth, it can damage the relationship. Okay. So I learned with some friends that went through like a personal development weekend thing to ask permission. So when this friend looks at me, gives me a little smile and says, Lisa, are you open to feedback? I'm like, oh shit. Okay. Yes, I am open to feedback, and then she'll tell me, right? And I can take that loving feedback from her because I know that she is caring about me. I also get to practice that with my daughter, which this is powerful. All right. Because if you have that friend and they're struggling, and you are like, I know exactly what they should do. I know it. And you just want to, right? But if you can hold back and ask, do you want to brainstorm with me on solutions or you just wanting me to listen? And if they say, I got this, I just want you to listen. If you can honor that, that will up level that relationship because the moment they get stuck, they know exactly who to come to because they know there will be no judgment. And what are you telling them? By saying, okay, I'm here to listen. You're telling them, I believe you. I believe that you can figure this out. I know you don't need me. You got this. But if you ever do, I'm here. That you say all of that within that question. And so being able to say that to my daughter at 16 of, hey, do you want my help with this? Do you want me to brainstorm with you on this? Or do you want me just to listen? And I've been surprised how many times she said, I want your help. I want your feedback. Please.
That was probably received differently than if you would have just.
Oh, absolutely. Because you get to check and go, yeah,
That's
okay,
That's
what do you got?
do. That's
Yeah, opening that door.
instead of just.
Yeah. So that's the key to anybody with Sagittarius placements, letting their truth be heard, is first asking. Facts. Facts. Yeah. Learned that from like Mel Robbins and several other people. Okay.
Yeah.
Very slowly.
Okay, so another Sagittarius blend, basil, lemon, spearmint, and patchouli are great oils for that. Capricorn. I love being around Capricorns because I get all these ideas, and Capricorns and things help me get them done. So Capricorn's responsible. So this, okay, it's a weird symbol. So you can, it's like a V, and then you bring it down and loop it around. Capricorn symbol is written a lot of different ways. And so if you look at a symbol and you're like, what is that? I can't quite, it's probably Capricorn. Okay. So it's kind of, it tends to be like a V and then down swoop. Cheer and Northern Escape are great for this. Garnet, snow quartz, high vibe, super responsible, practical. You're not, the emotions are not getting away because you're just getting stuff done. All right. And you really are feeling confident to complete that project that you started when the moon was in Aries. Okay. And the moon goes in this same order every time. It is the same order. Okay. Low vibe can be overly ambitious or perfectionistic, and so then you're like pushing people out of the way. No, I'll just do it. I'll just do it. And then you can get into this like victim mentality. Okay. So be careful you don't shut people out and pick other people apart. Recognize it might not be about them, but you're trying to like protect your own self, your sensitive side. Fennel, arborvitae, and cypress is another blend for Cap. Aquarius moon, like me, innovative, independent. Aquarius, you're able to see the logical side of things. So again, it's really good to help bring people out of like their heightened emotion. You can bring people into the logical aspect of it to try to find common grounds and peace keep. Okay. And it's really, there's a lot of freedom within this. You're feeling very free. You're feeling a lot of ideas coming in. So like with my top 3, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, like you want 50 ideas in 20 minutes? Like I got you. I'll come up with them. Okay. And then I would love to like help you make a plan and all that sort of stuff. It's great. And then you can go and do that plan. Okay. Low vibe can be emotionally distant and unpredictable. So I was talking about this, early. Be careful that you don't disregard the emotional side of things altogether. If you become too calculated, you might find yourself using others rather than serving them. And so that was a real key part for me of making sure that I stay paying attention and feeling into the emotional aspect of things. And that's why I'm like, guys, we've got to do a class on motions and oils for me every single month to remind me about emotions, okay? To make sure I'm tapping into them and taking care of them. Serenity and Northern Escape with fluorite is a beautiful combo. So with that fluorite, you could also do tangerine, melaleuca, ylang ylang, or black spruce. And notice the 2-1 when those are just drops. Okay, these are so potent. You only need 1 to 2 drops of each of these oils in your diffuser, and then let it run for the 8 hours or whatever it runs for. Okay. If you have to use like 10, 20 drops of an oil, it's not a real oil. It's fake. Pisces, this is all in feelings, super connected to the emotions, right? So Pisces, you've got the like 2 depends on how you look at it, convex, concave, cave if you're looking at it this way. 2 concave lines with a line through it. Amethyst, really great. We're connecting into that limbic brain, that pineal gland, that inner core, that third eye. Perceptive, compassionate. You can really connect with others, find forgiveness, greater capacity to give. Be careful though, if you notice that you're feeling misunderstood or overextended. Okay? Feeling misunderstood or overextended, I want to check your boundaries. Are you able to sense and feel into where your own emotions are and then where the other person's emotions begin? Okay? Are you able to notice that boundary? Or are you taking on other people's? Okay? Especially you empaths in the room have to be crazy careful about this. And then in the moons in Pisces, holy cats. Like, fortify. Maybe. And if you know that, seriously, this might be a good day of like, I'm going to take a break. I'm recognizing I have a weakness at this point to manage my emotions. So I'm not going to put myself in a risky situation where I'm going to be around maybe this specific person and then it explodes and then okay. You can choose. Isn't it beautiful that we can choose? We're always in choice. And so it's a little bit double-edged because if something's sucky in your life, it's also been your choice in a lot of cases. Okay. So it's a wake-up call and it's empowering at the same time. Geranium, cedarwood, and tangerine is another Pisces blend. I'm going to go just single oils. Okay, so if you want to have a quick reference, I put on the end of the ebook, I have a page that has all 12 of them. So if you wanted a quick glance at what they were, you could go to the bottom of the ebook and just take like a screenshot of that one page. And then if you wanted all of the oil blends, I have another one, all one page of the single oils as well. Okay. Yeah. And I do need to update my Google Calendar, but I will share my Google Calendar with you as well. If you do Google Calendar, and then you can just look at the Google Calendar that I made, and it'll tell you which sign it is rather than having to look it up on an ephemeris. And because I was like, I don't want to have to look it up. And so I've created the calendar for myself mainly. And right. And it has all like what oils to use, what crystals to use, and what high vibe and low vibe to look out for. And it has the link into that ebook. So Patsy's going to hold me accountable and make sure that I update my calendar for January. Anyways, so yeah, and then I'll get you all added. Okay. Okay, I've already talked about doTERRA. These are the 5 questions that I use. If you're using essential oils, I would invite you to, take a screenshot of these 5 or take a picture of these 5 questions and check what oils you're using and see if they meet the standard. So I know that doTERRA meets these standards, so that's why I choose them. So are they safe for internal use? If they are not confident that their peppermint oil can be used for internal use when we cook with peppermint, then it's not real peppermint. They're not confident that they have real peppermint. End of story. Okay. Do they do third-party testing? So independent of their own company. If they're not doing that, then it's not real testing, right? There's no accountability is what I'm saying. There's no accountability. So are they using a third-party lab? And is it a good lab? Not all labs are created equal. APRC is the lab that doTERRA uses. Is that testing then made public? Does the company work directly with the growers to ensure quality and humanitarian support of the communities within them? I will just start crying if I start to talk about how doTERRA takes care of the communities that farm their oils and distill their oils. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Our sourcing initiatives is grounded in the goal of eradicating poverty in the world. That's really what it's about. Okay, it's beautiful. And that frequency, people, you guys in this room, you know frequency, right? That frequency of care and love starting at those people carries through to the oils. Okay, and then and then do they also do in-house testing? So, because when it gets to them, they want to make sure that it's staying, nothing bad happens during the processing within the facility. So at doTERRA does, they do testing on site before they purchase a lot. It has to come back 100% perfect. Then they purchase it, it comes in-house. They do the processing, and then they send the sample back to the original lab and say, hey, compare, make sure nothing wonky happened. And if something wonky happens, it never makes it to the people. They scrap that whole lot and until it's right. Okay. And that last final testing done by that lab, once it's approved that it matches, that's what gets publicized. And you can go to source2u.com and see what those are. So the Moon Signs and Essential Oils kit were the 10 oils that work for all 12 signs. They're my different combos that I have referenced in the book. It's actually 165, sorry. It is the Aroma Essentials kit from doTERRA that has all 10 of these oils that we've talked about tonight, of the combo of 2. Comes with a diffuser and free shipping. And it's 25% off when you, that's it, 165 is 25% off the retail price when you get it through anybody who has an account. And then you also are able to save 25% off doTERRA for an entire year for free. Okay. If you choose to purchase after that, it's only $25 to renew, and you get a super mint blend for a thank you for renewing and continuing. That's totally optional. No monthly requirements and things like that for those of us that do purchase monthly, whether customer or a wellness advocate like myself or Kim or Patsy. And you get additional percentage back. Like I'm on their vitamins. Of course I'm buying them monthly, right? So then I'm getting additional 30% back. It increases, starts at 10, it goes all the way up to 30. And I get free products all the time. It's so fun. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. I would love for you to scan this and fill out my feedback form. Many of you already have the calendar part, so you can, or the ebook already. But I would love your feedback and see what you're interested in, so we can follow up with you. And then also I would have it right there for like, adding you to the calendar and stuff like that too. So yeah. With now we can use the little oil bottles and crystals and the oils and make your own moon blend to take home with you so you can support your emotions no matter what's going on. All right. So yeah, so I will leave that up. And any questions? Well, thank you for coming. Let's have some fun, make some oils.
Bottles up here. So there's a bottle lid and then grab a little white thing. If there's not enough little white things, there's more in this little plastic tube.
Cool.